What's the marketing plan?
It was elaborate.
So the whole marketing plan, the rollout, is going to be coming from her strategy?
It's experiential. You get really good at something, that means that you learned the language. So I learned the language, I know music. And she has a language that she knows, it's marketing, and it just happens to be something that could be applied in any space. It's just marketing. She said it's hearts and hands. She said it's hearts and hands, and I never heard this before. She said people could fall in love with what's in their hand because it's useful and necessary for them, meaning I need a cup, so this cup is handy, and I'm in love with the usage of this cup, but I'm not committed to this cup. But when you sell a story and people fall in love with why the cup is the cup, then you have their hearts, and they'll always come back to the cup, and they'll have a story that's invested in the cup when it's half full, half empty, or empty. And I go hearts and hands, and I go, damn, you f***ed me up. So in saying that, she tells me something about music exists in the ether. It's just something that's like in the air. It's just atmospheric. She said when it becomes tangible, when things become tangible and the experience becomes even richer. So one small caveat, one small part of the marketing plan, we're doing a live installation, because she asked me how I want to be remembered. What's my legacy? And I hated the question and I loved it because she wasn't asking like she was interviewing me. She just wanted to know what my legacy, what I wanted it to be. I said I want to be remembered as an artist, as one of the foremost impressive artists and businessmen that walked this earth. But I want, when you think of St. John, actually this is what I said to her, right? I'm trying to remember. I said I want it to feel like the way it feels when you say Saint Laurent, when you whisper Saint Laurent. That's what I said to her. I said, you know that emotion?
Because I know that feeling like,
you know the feeling, you can picture the colors. I said it's lilac, it's black, it's silver.
Yeah.
You know how it's pronounced, it's embossed. I said, when you say my name by the end of this rope, it should feel like that. It should feel like luxury and passion and hope and inspiration and growth and everything, and it gotta be sexy, or it wasn't me, I didn't do it. So we're having this full conversation. Anyway, so one of the pieces she tells me I'm doing an art installation. She says, you do an art installation. You wanna be adjacent to art if you wanna be remembered as purely an artist. It doesn't matter what your medium is. I wanna be known as the artist. I want them, when they say St. John, I want them, you'd be like, I don't remember, was it music? Was it fashion? Was it film? Was it textures and textiles? Was it architecture? It shouldn't matter.
Right.
I want permission to do whatever the f I want to do, as long as I want to do it, and I want permission to change my f***ing mind and get bored when I'm done. So we're talking about this art installation to present the collection in case we both die young.
So a rollout is extremely important for artists. Jay-Z had a legendary rollout where he did the whole scavenger hunt. What's the most legendary rollout for an artist that you've ever seen?
The most legendary I've ever seen? The phrase rollout is too business oriented. I think it's the way you present your work. I know you're saying that, but I want to be real specific about language, because language has an emotion to it, right? So the way I present my art, so when I say that I'm about to present my art, you have a different expectation. When I tell you about my rollout, you know I'm trying to sell some.
It's more intimate.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to sell nothing. I want to commodify my art, but I want to present it in the best possible way. So when Jay did 444, I thought it was really cool. I thought the simplicity of him just putting 444 everywhere, and you knew it meant something, and you knew it was powerful, and you don't have to understand numerology.
Right.
Because the people who were looking at that, they didn't understand numerology. Like just this general consumer watching him roll that out, just knew it was everywhere and it meant something. That's all they knew, it meant something, and they didn't know what it meant, and they were waiting for it to explain it. In the last decade, people have gotten lazy. Art don't quite feel the same way. So a piece of the rollout she was talking about is, in this art installation that people come through, it'll be like a museum or an exhibit in a gallery, but it's with 15 different rooms and a passageway where you're going from room to room. I'm trying to oversimplify it because it was so detailed. Like, if it's an art installation that's emotional and relates to this cinematic piece of work that I'm making, it's a lot more complicated to just say it in like 10 seconds. But she said one thing really specific. She said in one of the rooms, you'd write down one of your fears, your pains, or your promises on a piece of paper, and you'd burn it as you leave the room. And I was like, oh man, I know what that does. I know what that feels like. I know why that's important. Just having it, the emotionality, that emotional feeling connected to something that's sonically beautiful,
Right.
creates a memory that imprints and lasts
I think
forever.
that's deep.
It starts
Because you're
feeling like
smart.
Saint Laurent.